get these relaxers and sit there with the burn like, oh, gotta do it. I gotta do it. I need my hair straight. I gotta get it done. And
I'm
then,
a strong Black woman. I can go through this burn. I can live with it.
Girl,
It's fine. And
how many
inside, you
times
know
have
it's
we
wrong.
sat there with it burning
Listen,
and just a little while longer?
just a little
yeah,
longer.
And then you're running to the shampoo bowl. Running.
Yes.
no, really, like, no, just I could take a few more minutes while my soul was on
Yes.
fire.
That's
Okay.
correct. Your soul.
A 3, a 2, a 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Read This, Read That. I am Jackie Reed.
I'm Joyanne Reed.
How you doing, cousin?
I'm doing just fantastic and fabulous. How you doing?
I'm loving this look. I love, love, love.
Thank you. I'm kind of
Now-
leaning into, a little African style. And also, I didn't feel like doing my hair. How about that?
I love this. Now, have you done your hair like that on the Jheri Reed show yet? Will that debut on the Jheri Reed show?
I need to do that. I have not yet worn the head wrap on the show. No, I remember one time I did it on Ms. Now, and they weren't thrilled.
Oh my God!
I did it on a weekend. Oh no, weekend. I was traveling, and I didn't have hair and makeup, and I was like, I was like, look, I'm not gonna put makeup on, so I needed a distraction. So I was like, let me just do a high wrap, and I did this exact wrap, and I don't think they loved it.
It's very cute. It's so funny you talked about Ms. Now, because in the episode that we have for you today, and let me just say real quick that, we have been saying throughout the end of the year that in the month of December, we're going to kind of take a break to get some R&R and work on our big relaunch coming in January. So this is one of those episodes where you get a little smidget of us now, and then we're throwing to one of our favorite episodes, which today's episode just happens to be about hair. And in it, as we're talking about hair here, we're gonna revisit our hair journeys over the years as two women who have been in front of the camera for much of their careers. And even before then, when we were in high school and things like that, we're going to talk a lot about our hair journeys. And we have two very special guests. We have Latoya Booth from the Honey Salon in Harlem. Love her. And Syreeta Scott of Duafe Salon in Philly. So they're both going to talk to us about what's healthy when it comes to natural hair, a little bit about processed hair, but I mean, it's just really, is it processed hair?
AKA the creamy crack.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're going to talk about all those things in this episode. So you're gonna love this episode.
You're gonna love it. Enjoy. Roll 'em.
Everybody, it is the holiday season, and we are going to do a Read This, Read That unboxing with a jewelry brand that sent us both some boxes to our home. It's called Syreeta D. It's a mother-daughter brand. And so we're going to unbox what they sent us. So let's go, Joyanne. Let's
do it
and see what we got.
First of all, the box is dirty.
I tell you that this company has been around for a bit. They actually have their jewelry. They have a warehouse that they ship out of in the Atlanta area, but they're also in the Atlanta airport.
Oh, lovely.
They do original designs, which is what you and I have. And look, wait, okay. So you're doing it the right way. So you open it up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in a little bag.
Ooh.
How cute is that, right?
Cute.
And they give you a little card with the QR code on the back, so you can get more information. Okay, so I got a bag with a necklace, and I got some earrings.
Okay. I got earrings as well.
Yeah.
And I got a necklace. And look, there's also a little card. Bing. All right, let's open.
What is yours? Okay, so I'm taking mine out. Ooh, this is so pretty. I love this.
Here are my earrings.
I love a chain.
Oh, pretty. Okay, I'm going to start. I'm starting with my earrings. I'm doing mine backwards.
Not good with stones. Oh, I love this.
Hold on.
This is so cute. This is kind of like a yellowish kind of stone.
Mine is kind of Mine is silver. It's kind of like got a little glitter. It's very glittery.
Yours is purple, right?
It's purple. Yeah. You know I had to order my show colors from the
Oh,
Jheri show. Yeah, now.
purple.
I love red, black, and purple. Those are my three favorite colors.
And I love that you can adjust it. I like my necklace to be a little tight around the neck. So but you can make it longer because see, look, I have all this.
Oh, so it's got like a thing where you can actually change the length.
Mm-hmm.
My nails make things really hard to do. I love having my nails done, but putting things on and doing things with your nails, it's like not the easiest. Look how pretty.
Oh, those are pretty.
Gorge. Let me complete the look.
Earrings. Put these on.
Oh, ooh, yours are super pretty.
Festive.
I might have to borrow those when I'm in Hotlanta.
Now, listen, as I said, they have all kinds of, these are original pieces that we have, the earrings and the jewelry. They're one of a kind. So when you go on their website, every month they have new designs.
Oh.
They also have standard things that they have, like they have a lot of Divine Nine pieces for the different sororities.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a member of a Black Greek organization, sorority, then go to their website because they have beautiful pieces. I have some of their Delta Sigma Theta designs because they show up at our different conventions.
Got it. All right, I'm going to back up a little so everyone can see my look. Fabulous.
This is time for the holidays.
Yes.
I feel like we can get a lot of mileage out of these things. So
great.
Oh, and I love how it's so well made, right?
And I love that it's heavy. It's like a nice heavy stone. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Gorgeous.
Can you see how pretty?
Gorgeous.
Like I'm going up close.
We appreciate you.
We do. Thank you. And I want to say that if you want to, you can go on and order on their website, Syreeta D, or you can get a gift card. They have e-gift cards for people. So you can do that. They do live shopping events all the time. So you want to follow them on IG. And then they also have an e-magazine, but you can also get an actual physical magazine in your hands mailed to you. So a lot of stuff. So big thank you to Syreeta D for sending us this jewelry. We love it so much, and I can't wait to wear it.
Yay.
Yay.
Everybody, we want to welcome everybody to a very special episode of Read This, Read That. It's the hair episode, where we are going to take you down memory lane and talk about our hair journeys separately and some together, because we've had some experiences together when we were both working in 30 Rock. And so we're going to talk about all the things, but instead of a wind down, we're going to talk a little bit about our hair journeys. And we've got some photographs to share along the way to help tell the story, because we try to make it visual as often as we can. And I was going to say, Joyanne, the day that we're doing this, I'm having one of the craziest hair days. I'm like, let me just put a little kerchief on my head and keep it moving. Because I was like, today is the day I need to have great hair. I'm like, no, but every day is a great hair day for you. With your style that you have now, it really is so easy, I would imagine.
100%. It's life-changing. And it's sort of ironic because as we're going to tell the story, I'm back to the short hair I rejected in high school. I literally had this hairstyle in high school and absolutely hated it. Didn't want it, just wanted my hair to be super long.
Yeah.
And I've been through every iteration of hair in between and went right back to zero. And love it.
So wait, let's start with you. Since you kind of introduced it, let's start with your hair journey. I think we have a photograph of when you were back in high school. And you have a very similar hairstyle to what you have now. Is that where you want to start?
Very similar. Yes, we could start when I was a kid, but I don't really have childhood pictures. It's sort of a sad story. We lost the kind of all our stuff.
Oh my God.
But this was so this, I hate this picture. This is like one of my least favorite pictures in the world. Now, what you're seeing in that picture is rebellion. I was, so senior year in high school, I always had like short hair. And, when the Jheri curl came out, I refused to get a Jheri curl, but I got like a what they used to call a Donnie's rejuvenation curl. Donnie's
Isn't
rejuvenation
that
curl.
just a Jheri curl?
Maybe, yeah. But we used to say, but we weren't getting Jheri curls. So we got Donnie's rejuvenation because I was like, my friend Renita said it will help your hair grow because I was always so frustrated. You know, I had Afro puffs as a kid, like every Black girl. And my mother would put, press my hair and I would, cringe. And it was just a whole mess. And I always had the Afro puffs, but I was super tomboy. So I could never maintain my hair because I was always playing with the boys, rolling around, playing football, doing all the stuff I wasn't supposed to do. So my hair was just very hard to maintain. So the little Donnie's rejuvenation curl was supposed to grow my hair, make my hair manageable, and my hair is very kinky. I am 100% African, by the way. I've done my 23andMe. I am 0% non-African. I'm just all African. So my hair is as such. So it doesn't grow super long. Some Africans can grow long hair. That's a myth. Some African ethnicities can grow their hair really long, but not my African ethnicity. Okay. So in high school, I had just started to grow my hair out with my Donnie's rejuvenation curl. It was starting to work. It was growing out. I had a little fro, little afro, whatever, coming in. Not really what I wanted, but close enough. Baby, I decided let me go take myself downtown to a hairdresser, this Black hairdresser that was in 5 Points, which was the hood. And the only time we went to the hood in 5 Points out of Montbello, which is the Black suburbs, was to get our hair done and for Juneteenth events. My sister was, she was runner-up to Miss Juneteenth, by the way. So we would go down there for Juneteenth stuff and get our hair done. That's it. That's the only time we went down there. So I go down there to get my hair cut for senior class photo time. And the lady said to me, because my hair had grown out a little bit, she's like, "Ooh, let me give you a Grace Jones look. I think you would look so beautiful with that." And I'm thinking, okay, Grace Jones, she has like the cool hair. And I loved Grace Jones. And I was a super fan. So I was like, "Ooh, Grace Jones, that's going to look great." When I didn't look, she was like, "Turn around. We're going to make you not face the mirror." And when I turned around and saw that, I busted out crying. This lady, I had worked so hard to grow my hair out to my little afro, and this lady cut it all off and left me with that boy cut. And I already was kind of a boy because I was such a tomboy that I would get teased and I would get, kind of bullied by people in school. And I was like, I'm just going to get bullied with this haircut. This is like the most nightmare African haircut you could possibly have as somebody who's definitely African. And, we always used to kind of avoid talking about being African because, it's cool now. But back in the 80s, Black people were not really that open to Africanness. They really didn't like it. And the 4 African families, the Chirungas, what was it? I remember forget all their last names. The Okekes, the Chirungas, us, the Lomenas, and the Akias. That's the 4 African families in town. And we were the only Afro-Caribbean family. So we didn't really talk too much about being African. It was just not a thing because it was not popular in the 80s. This was my 1986 haircut. I was so upset about it. And I went home. My mom was like, "Don't worry, you're going to look amazing." I was like, "No, I don't even want to take my senior pictures." I was actually refusing to take them, but I had to. You had to. Otherwise, you would have a blank page in the yearbook. So I went to get my photo. I refused to dress up. You can see I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I refused to put on anything nice. I was like, I am going to sabotage this picture in every way possible as a protest against that heifer that cut all my hair off. That is my senior year photo.
That's the senior year photo?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes.
You wore a sweatshirt for your senior year photo? Like that's in the yearbook?
I didn't give a damn. I was mad. I was protesting. I was like, this is absurd. I can't believe this lady messed me up. I don't even feel cute enough to dress up. I didn't want, my mother was like, "You got to dress up." I was like, no, I refused. Girl, I wore this, and then they were like, "Bring an alternate outfit." The other outfit I brought was even more casual. I literally dressed up like it was a regular day. I was so pissed. And then I was so mad at myself for doing it because then when the photo came out in the yearbook, I was like, "Oh my God, why did I dress up for this freaking photo?"
Oh my God.
Self-sabotage, 1980s version. So that is that photo. That is where my hair started in senior year of high school.
Gotcha. Well, me in high school, I mean, I have my senior year picture, and hopefully I can have it. I don't have it right now, but I'm going to drop it in, girl, because I could barely fit the cap on my head because I had the Jheri curl, but the Ola Ray, like I had the, my hair was, and I have a picture of myself that you can see. That's my early years in college where I had that hairstyle, and I've got on some black and white, but I've got really curly hair. Lauren, if you can pop that picture up. But that's like, that's me in college.
Ray.
Yeah, girl. That's once I got a little bob with it. But my hair was that is a Jheri. That was how I wore my Jheri curl.
Now, was it Jheri or did you get like one of the other brands? Because, you know, people would do like, you know, classic curl. They had everything but Jheri. Was yours Jheri curl brand?
Girl, listen, you remember the company M&M Products?
Yes.
The guy who the two gentlemen that owned that company, the son of one of them went to my high school and actually is still in the hair care. They do a design essentials.
Right.
They're still in it. So I had a Jheri curl, and Stay Soft Fro was how I kept my hair moist. But
Listen.
I tried to keep it more dry, but my hair grew like wildfire. Once I got that, because before that, of course, I was getting my hair straightened with a hot comb.
Yep. Same.
Then started getting a perm way too early. But listen, we don't blame our parents because they didn't know no better. So I was getting a perm. And girl, one time I remember going in 8th grade. I didn't realize this, but of course I had a dog that I shouldn't have had sleeping in bed with me, a little puppy, and it peed in my hair.
What?
And I didn't have sense enough to wash the pee out or anything before I like put like hot comb in my a curling iron in my hair. Girl, the hair came right. This side of my hair just poof, it was gone.
Oh no.
So I had a lot of hair drama. And finally in high school, I got the Jheri curl and my hair started to grow. So in my senior picture, which I hope I can find and add here, you'll see the cap is barely fitting on my head. Because, you know, girl, I had so much hair.
Right.
That is my high school story. And into college, graduate school, it wasn't until I went to Chicago. I went to Northwestern for graduate school, met a hair stylist there, and that's when I went back to just regularly permed hair before I got my first on-air TV job. So that style never saw me on TV.
Wow.
Yeah,
never on TV. Well,
I know.
I have to tell you, my mother was not a hair person either, and she used to press our hair like yours too. And I never got a perm until I went to college. And I have a photo I have to show you guys. This is me. This is it. This is before. I think this was just after my first semester of college, and I'm there with my cousin Lorraine. I don't know if Camille, you can pull that photo up. That's the photo I just sent you. It was me and Lorraine in Brooklyn, New York. And this was when I finally started getting my hair straightened professional. Well, I don't know about professionally, because this was a home kit straightening.
Oh, I think I saw that picture. Wait a minute.
Yes.
I want to see that one pulled up. Wait, is that the one?
This one, here it goes, right here.
Oh my God. That's so cute. I don't think Lauren has that one.
Oh, Lauren doesn't have that one. Okay, I'm gonna send that. I sent it to
Camille.
Add
that in so everybody can see it close up. But that's cute.
Yeah. So that was me. This is me now in New York. That is my look that I had in college, and then I would turn it down and do like a little Halle Berry look with it. This is what I should have had for senior year of high school, but that lady jumped me.
She gave you the Grace Jones instead of the Halle Berry.
Instead of the Halle Berry. But yeah, in college, I had the Halle Berry look. That was my look. I always had it short because my hair really didn't grow that fast. And so I would do it that same, either turn back that way to show my big ass forehead or turn down in a little Halle Berry-ish kind of cut.
Isn't it funny the things that you worry about back then with your hair as opposed to now you're like, man, I was worried about the craziest stuff back then. The craziest things. Life was so simple. But okay.
Life was so simple. So now the picture that I will show you all from when I actually started working professionally, this was my first time I actually got a headshot. And I finally discovered in college that the best way to take care of my hair after I went through my whole phase of Halle Berry cut and just was like, I'm tired of doing my hair, tired of dealing with it. I discovered braids and never looked back. I was like, braids are there it is. This was my first.
Oh my God.
I got a headshot. This was in Florida. This was me in South Florida when I was working at WTVJ. And that is
I love that
headshot. Yes, because I was like, I'm not going to deal with my hair. And what's so funny is I went straight from the, sort of Bob Halle Berry style to that. And I used to fight with people online. And there was this one guy who was fighting with me online, being a total jerk, right winger, where we started battling back and forth online. And he said, "You probably saying that because you probably look a hot mess and are really ugly."
Oh.
So I said, "Well, why don't you post your picture and I'll post mine?" And I posted that. And he said, "Oh, I take it back."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, I went, my hair was straight and it was cut short, but I still didn't have that look that I had at BET, but I had short hair. And I'm gonna send this to Lauren. I don't know if you can see this one. This is me when I was an anchor and a reporter in
Oh my
Houston,
gosh.
Texas.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Okay, we're gonna full screen that. That is
Yeah,
amazing.
we'll screen it so you can see, so you guys can see the whole thing. But girl, wait, let me see. I can make it a little bit bigger. Look at that
Oh
hair.
my gosh. Look at how pretty. I
Look
love
at that
it.
hair, girl. That's how my
Beautiful.
hair looked before. That was like I worked here before I went to CNN.
Right.
And that's where when I went to Atlanta, that's when the hairstylist that I met, Paula, and forgive me for forgetting her last name because she has such a great name,
Yeah.
gave me that pixie cut, and the rest was history. That pixie cut that I had at BET, girl, everybody talked about.
Everybody, and that's how I knew. And so interesting because of course, I used to watch you on BET News. Yes.
Oh, there
And
it
that
is.
is the way I knew of you. And that is the look that we all came to know and love. That is the classic Jackie Reed look right there. That's it. That's it.
Yep.
Fabulous.
That woman in
And who used to cut
Atlanta.
your hair? Who used to cut your hair?
Well,
You
there
remember?
was this woman in Atlanta I was talking about who initially took me from what I had to that look, the pixie cut.
Yes.
She was
Yeah.
like, "Trust me," and I loved it. And then when I moved to New York from CNN, I was in Atlanta, of course, and I moved to New York, and I was at BET. I had to find people in New York to do my hair mostly, and there's a woman who I love to this day, Vanessa Newby, who would do my hair when I was at BET. And so she would maintain my hair for the time that I was at BET and even after for a while.
Got you. Okay. So I have, you were talking about professional hairstyle. So I have a next headshot that I don't know if Lauren has, and this is my flip cut because I eventually went from the braids to what I think we commonly used to know in the news business. This one. This is headshot number 2. And I did this all throughout when I was on the radio. This was my Radio 1 flip cut. And I used to go to bed at night in curling rollers. And I would do the hard rollers. And I would have the hard rollers in, and then I would do the wrap. I used to do a wrap. I would try to wrap the top because my hair is not super thick. My hair is very kinky, but it's not like super thick. So I had to really work with it to get my flip right. I don't even think my flip was right this day, but I was like, we're just gonna go with this.
Girl, you worked it out.
This was my look throughout Radio 1, and this photo was on billboards all over Florida. They had us do billboards, and they put them all around the state, and we didn't know that Kathy Hughes was doing that because she was about to sell our station. So this was what we used to sell the Radio 1 station. News Talk 1080 WTPS. That was my TPS look. But I say this to say your very cute pixie cut, this look, what they had in common is we were using our own hair, other than the braids, which obviously were extensions. It is amazing to me that, Gwen Eiffel, who is my idol in the business, she always used her own hair. You didn't really see Black women using like wigs and weaves, right? Other than, Oprah, that was her hair too. So we came up in the business and you did use your own hair, which you take the risk that if it's not you doing your hair, you get what you get.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop up if I can find it a photograph of I had that short hair in Houston when I first moved there, but then with the rollers, like you, I grew my hair out, and I have this headshot of my hair with the flip because I used the rollers and I really grew it out, and then I cut it again before I went to CNN. But it's so funny because it's so similar to that anchor hair, right?
The anchor hair. That's anchor hair.
I
Yes.
definitely had anchor hair for, for the longest time. But like to your point of a lot of people, Black women were not wearing weaves. We're definitely not wearing natural hair.
Definitely
Right?
not. And not sure it had to be straightened, but it was hot and interesting. So my braid look and that headshot I showed you, I was a digital person at that time. So I was not on air. The
Yeah.
only reason I could work in a news world and have my hair with those braids is because I was not an on-air person. I was a digital behind the scenes person. And the minute that they started going over and doing this like little report from the newsroom where we digital people sat and they would have us like do an on air, I had to take those braids out of my hair. I couldn't. So that's when I really started to shift to like the back to press and curl, because there was a time when you could not wear braids on air. Go back and Google any picture of any anchor prior to 2015.
Yeah.
You just did not see that because you were not allowed to do anything other than pressed hair.
Yeah.
Or relaxed hair.
Or relaxed hair. That was it. I mean, for the longest time. And then like when I got to BET, and that for the longest time, I've had that pixie cut. Now people, I'm telling you, they barely recognize me if they do at all, because people are like, oh gosh,
because you have all that hair.
My voice, because my hair, I had that hair for so long.
It's your signature look. It's like, it really is the way that we came to know you. And so that look is definitional for how people remember you, right? Because that is the look of NBC, of BET Nightly News. And what's so interesting is, could you have even done BET Nightly News in braids at BET? Probably not.
I think they probably would not have poo-pooed it, but because I was a news person, anybody, like all the women that we had on air, our correspondents, everybody came from news. So it was ingrained in our brains. I remember going to NABJ years prior and taking a hair and makeup seminar, and they were telling us, these were executives, you cannot have natural hair. Like you can't do that if you want to go far in this business. But then when I got to NBC, where I met you,
yes,
at 30 Rock, there's a picture of us together, and we can, I don't know if we can pop that up. You saw that, of when we started Read This, Read That, and we did this photo shoot on somebody's phone. And how cute
and
are we?
We both had anchor hair.
We both had anchor hair. That's when I let the pixie grow out, and I started that long thing. But this was when you were on the
Griot. I was at the Griot at the time. No. This is after the Griot. I was on AM Joy at the time, right?
This is AM Joy. Yep.
Yes. This was AM Joy.
The early days of AM Joy.
Go ahead.
Because this is like 2018, 2019.
This would have been 2016, because I was on AM Joy started in 2016.
Yeah. No, but when we started, this picture was like about 2018 though.
Then it would be 2018. You're right. Because we started Read This. Oh my God. Did we start it that long ago? Yes, it was in 2018.
Yes.
2018. So and you notice again, still, we're both using our real hair. We're both using our natural hair. And so now I have to tell you all the story of how Jackie Reed saved my hair. Now you see my hair, the length it is right there. That was on a good day when I had the AM Joy stylists doing my hair. And I want to say at that point, it was probably David was doing the hair. And I think Janai had already left, my hairstylist Janai. But Danielle Terry, the great Touched by Terry, was doing my makeup. So you see, it looks fabulous. And it was either Janai or David who was doing my hair. These are all Black stylists, y'all. But if we could go back for a minute, and I don't know if you have a picture, Camille, if you guys can put up, or if Lauren can put up I have a really short hair picture that I have, where I actually, the hairstyle wasn't bad, but I had cut my hair way down low. Is
that the one? Is this
yes. It? Okay. So that is my one of my earlier headshots. This is big ups to this. Yeah, this is, I believe, one of the early headshots. This wasn't my first headshot, but Keith Major actually did those pictures. So he's fabulous. And
he is.
So these are Keith Major shots. So this would have been probably 2016, because I was on AM Joy in this picture. But during that time, as you can see, I cut my hair all the way short and was wearing it like that. And the reason I was wearing it really short and wrapped is that my hair was all falling out, because when I originally started doing TV, I'm not a hair person, as I've already explained. And random different people were doing my hair. Different people were touching my hair every day. And it was just a sea of different people. And this is this was before we started Read This, Read That. And my hair was falling out of my head because too much heat was being used, too many different products, too much spray. And I one day was complaining about this to Jackie, who was actually helping me, y'all. She was helping me find different treatment centers. I was spending like $600 a treatment on these really expensive hair treatments to make my hair come back. Between my skin breaking out from me not being a makeup girl and suddenly wearing makeup every day, and my hair falling out of my head because of all the heat and everything. And Jackie would be like, put your foot down. Stop being so nice. Tell those people they can't touch your hair. Tell them people to turn down that iron. And she would try to like get me. And I'm like way too West Indian polite because I didn't want to tell people they're professionals. I don't want to tell them how to do their job. But literally my hair was being destroyed by this industry. And while my hair had never been long or the way I wanted it, at least it was fairly healthy. Girl, after a couple years of doing TV, my hair was destroyed. And this was the only protective style I could come up with because they didn't have to curl it.
Girl, I remember seeing you on TV one night. It was you. I can't remember if you were doing the Read Report or if I say one night, but it was a night. So I think you were either a guest on Chris Matthews' show. It was before, it was, gosh, I can't remember.
It probably would have been Read Report time. Yeah.
Looked like it was burned out. And I remember calling you and saying, girl, what the hell is going on with your hair? It looked crazy.
Right. Yes.
And you said it was just, and I was just like, because girl, I don't know if they liked me or not, the different people that did hair, but I didn't care because I was so into healthy skin, healthy hair. And I was like, if somebody just I didn't want a bunch of heat in my hair. I was like, it was wrapped. You can put some heat in the top. At one point, I got a little piece to put in that long bang. I got a little piece to put in there just so they wouldn't have to put heat in my hair. So we would smooth this down, pop that in, curl that piece, and that would be it. That's how I
got it too. Remember, you got me to get it.
Yeah.
You told me about that. I didn't even know that was possible because it got so bad that, between Jackie Reed and Tamron Hall, those are the two sisters. They were two Black women who were in the business with me. And so what you're talking about, I was actually, I believe, doing the first show I had, the Read Report, because I did a dayside show. And Tamron was my neighbor. We had cubicles and we were neighbors. And so I would complain constantly to her about this stuff. I would complain constantly to you about this stuff. And I believe the night you saw me, I had my dayside show, but I was a guest on probably Hardball on one of the nights because you saw me at night. And I remember that call. And I was like, girl, I'm struggling here because my hair is so destroyed and fried and my skin was breaking out. So one day, y'all, I finally got the two of them together, and with the three of us were in a hallway at 30 Rockefeller Plaza. And I'm just like beside myself because I believe this is when I had just agreed to do the weekend show. Melissa Harris Perry had quit the network and they were asking me, Phil Griffin was like, you need to do this show. We had negotiated the name. I wanted to call it Morning Joy, but they were like, you can't call it Morning Joy. So I was like, what about AM Joy? And they were like, no. And then we were like, well, then we don't want to do it. And they were like, okay, fine. You can call it AM Joy. But I was like, I cannot go back to another daily show and have the same experience that I had on the Read Report. So I was freaking out. That's like, if I go back to having a regular show, because, my dayside show had been canceled. So I was no longer doing a 5-day-a-week show, but this was going to be an every weekend regular experience. And I was like, I'm going to be bald headed by the time, a month into this. And Tamron and Jackie were like, enough is enough. This has to change. And they were like, hoorah! We're walking down to Yvette Miley's office. And we marched the three of us down to Yvette Miley's office with Tamron on one side of me and Jackie on the other. And they went off, off, y'all. When I tell you that when this is what advocating for your sisters looks like in the business, the media business has very few Black women and very few Black women executives. And Yvette Miley, who's one of the few, she's somebody who we all felt comfortable being very frank with. Because I complained to her before about hair and makeup. And this day we had this meeting and, she was like, this is unacceptable. We all are suffering the same way. We can't trust everyone who's touching us in that room. Tamara didn't even let them do her hair and makeup. It was that bad. She did her own hair and makeup, y'all. When you saw her on NBC, she was doing her own hair and makeup. That's how serious it was. And Jackie, you were literally having to instruct people on how to do your hair and make sure that you're making. And I was sneaking over, y'all, to Jackie's team to get my hair done. I was sneaking out of the MSNBC side, going over to NBC and getting my hair done just so that I wouldn't lose all my hair. So we had this meeting, and what came out of it, that is how I got Danielle Terry and Jheri Scott, who are the most amazing hair and makeup artists. They became my hair and makeup team, and it was game changing. It was everyone wanted to get their hair done on AM Joy. We had no problem getting guests because they knew they were going to look fly. We ended up building out a team of about 6 women, not all Black, but all who knew how to do Black hair and makeup. That's very specific. In this business, a lot of people don't know how to do Black hair and Black makeup, Black skin, find our skin tones and do our hair. We built out this amazing team on AM Joy, and that is who did the hair and makeup for the picture with me and Jackie together. So that's it. That was my long story.
Yeah, but I just want to say this. I was blessed when I was in New York and doing the show that I was doing there to have Angie Lorenzo as my hairstylist for the most part. Whenever she went on vacation, I was like, oh no. But she was so dedicated. And that was Irv Gotti's sister.
And I didn't know that. That's what I was sneaking to, y'all. It was
Angie. That Angie would do your hair. Yeah, and Angela, who just left NBC recently, who after years and years there, I hear they actually got rid of hair at NBC. I don't know if it's all over or just WNBC. But she did my hair, and let me tell you, if I was like, I don't like this, I don't like that, this woman went above and beyond to make sure I was happy. She went above and beyond. And to the point that, she was just a pro at doing my hair, and I just trusted her completely when it came to doing my hair. But the makeup people would rotate a lot. So it just depended who you would get. But I wanted to kind of go back to a point that you were making. These people are professionally trained. They go to cosmetology school. They learn the craft, but in most cosmetology programs, especially then, I don't know if it's changed up to date. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. They learn how to do white hair. They really don't learn how to do hair that's permed, how to be delicate with it when it comes to heat, the kind of hairspray you need to do, the moisture that we need. Don't know how to do natural hair still to this day. I would think in a lot of places, some places they do, but it is a nightmare for a lot of Black women in front of the camera, not just in news, but we've had people on this show that are actresses that talk about, the struggles that they've had, because whoever they have, if you're not Beyonce and you travel with your own team, you have to, whoever's in the room is doing your hair and makeup. And I got spoiled at BET, because at BET, whatever room you walked into,
don't matter.
They were going to do Black hair. And
I hate to say this, but apparently because Fox really emphasizes the visuals. And I've had people say that you will get laid at Fox. They will get the laid out. They will have you fried. They will have you laid out, and you will be fabulous because it's something that's important to them.
Oh yeah, there was a girl that would come over to NBC because Fox News is right kind of catty corner to 30 Rock. Yeah. She would work over there and then come and fill in for Angie and do my hair sometimes. And when I tell you, baby,
listen,
she was one of the best out there. And also Charmaine, our soror Charmaine, also, she did your hair before.
Yes,
and
she did.
She would come in our room a lot. Charmaine could do my girl.
And when she would show up and I would see Charmaine before I had my own team, I would be like, thank you, Jesus. Because I knew I was going to look cute. Because, and it's a skill. And it's a thing that Black stylists tell me this all the time. I literally was just doing an event the other day, and I didn't know I didn't know who was going to be there. So whenever I do an event and they say hair and makeup is supplied, I always get my hair and makeup done myself, because I don't know who they mean by who. You know what I mean? Like, now I don't trust it. So I always get done, and then I go to the event. It turns out it's 2 sisters there. And the lady was bomb. Like, she just touched me up, did a great job. And then the hair lady, and we were all talking, and they were like, we have to learn an additional set of education to do black hair, whereas white stylists really don't how to, as you said, they learn on the white dolly or the white, hair model.
Yeah.
And then if you do black hair, you take that extra step to
It's a
learn
bonus.
how to deal with
Right.
pressed hair and to deal with relaxed hair. And it's additional education. And so it's like, it's really important. And so, which takes us to the reason so many black women who are in the business do not use their hair. And I think we have a couple of photos. I know I have one of my of one of my favorite, well, my many wigs, because y'all know I've done all these hairstyles.
Oh,
A
girl, I
lot of
got a
them have
wig
been
yet.
wigs.
I got a wig. Yeah, I don't know if I gave it to them or you did, but you have some. I
I
don't
have
know
several.
which
So I have
one.
curly hair wigs, straight hair wigs, all kind of wigs. And by the
Yeah.
way, the way that I met my current stylist is that whenever as I got booked to go on Meet the Press, and I finally got to do it. So I came down to DC, and the son of a similar thing happened. There wasn't anybody who really knew how to do my hair. So I wore my hair very flat to my head just to make sure it was not really needing to be done. When I came back the second time I was on Meet the Press, this is when David Gregory was the host, I actually lucked up on getting a woman named Takia, who was the makeup artist, black woman, and a sister named Coco. And Coco Quinzel did such a great job that I was like, you know what? Next time I'm in DC, I'm going to come to your shop and get my hair done at your place. And she's been doing my hair ever since. She's been literally doing my hair since like the mid 2000s because, probably at least since AM Joy time, because I knew when I came to DC, she was going to do a great job. And I was like, I don't want different people always in my hair. And I wound up making her my actual stylist because she's so good. She's been doing my hair ever since, did all the color, everything like that.
Girl,
And then
you will stick with a hairstylist and a
I would
makeup
leave the
artist
city.
until I had to say with me, when I started wearing wigs was after I went to see one of our guests for today, Syreeta Scott, because I was like, I'm not happy with these relaxers. It's not healthy. I was really, getting into veganism and just really trying to be healthy. And I was like, this relaxer got to get out of my hair. So
Right.
I traveled all the way to Philly. I can't even remember how I found this woman. And I was like, okay, I'm going to wear wigs. I already have my wigs packed because I didn't want to be on TV every day getting,
Right.
with a different style. I'm figuring out
Right.
my curl pattern, products, trying to figure. I saw my sister go through it when she did the big chop. So I went to Syreeta and she was like, okay, we gonna cut it all off. Or I don't even think she told me that. She was like, we're gonna cut it. And it was like a woo-woo moment. She just really helped me get my mental together. She was so patient with me. I went to her for a consultation first. Then I went back because Philly was so close to New York. I went back and it was time to get it cut off. And I've never showed these pictures before. So I don't have them right. I'm gonna pop them in later.
You pop them in. Okay.
I'm gonna pop them in because they're deep in my phone. But I was like, I was just like, oh, I was so sad that day. Like that picture you had in high school, that's my hair was. And so she put these little, I don't know what they're called, these little popcorn things all over my hair to make me, feel like more like I had a style.
Right.
Girl, I didn't like it. And I couldn't get that wig on my head fast enough. But I want to show a picture of the wig that I wore. And it's the one with me, Lauren, with it. I had 3 wigs, Bibbidi, Bobbidi, and Boo. And this was Bobbidi because my first one was shorter, but this was one girl I was wearing, I was showing up.
I remember Bobbidi
all the time.
Oh, and look, and then at one point, a guy who had made us some little cartoon images of us had to change them all because I was like, ooh, I love that Bobbidi look. And so I wound up I had 3 curly wigs too. And I didn't name mine had different names. I know one of them was named Janet. I think I had Janet, Janice, and somebody else. But I had curly wigs. I eventually, this lady named Giselle Modeste made me a curly hair wig.
That's who made this one.
Oh, Giselle made mine too. Giselle made my curly hair wig.
And Boo.
And she's amazing. She actually does Gail King's hair now. Gail stole her from us. I forgive you, Gail. But she's an amazing stylist. And Giselle did my first. And so when people saw me pop on TV with a curly hair wig, and I think we have photos of that, people loved it because they're like, oh my God, it's bringing natural hair. And this was shortly after the Crown Act passed in New York, where literally we could wear braids, we could wear curlies, we did all these looks, and I wound up doing this very curly style. A lot of people remember that curly style from when I told off Tucker Carlson. That was that wig that Giselle made, and I kept that, and I had different versions of that curly wig, and we would do them shorter, longer. And I did those wigs for a while and did curly hair wigs. And then, honey, the backup makeup artist to Takia in DC is a sister named Janice Bradford, who's now who took over and became my makeup artist when Takia went back to her main thing. And this sister not only is a great makeup artist who does my makeup now, she also is a great wig maker. So she created, and I have this photo, my absolute favorite wig of all time. She created it and Coco colored it because Coco is the color queen. They worked together on this wig, and this was the wig that I wore in when Tiffany Cross and I did The Culture Is. Remember The Culture Is?
I do.
The Culture Is wig is my absolute favorite wig I've ever had. So I finally got to experience having long, luxurious hair. And I absolutely loved it. It was a fabulous wig. The only reason I didn't stick with it over time is it was a little hot to have, and then traveling with it, it didn't, it's hard. It's just a lot to, not everybody knows how to style a wig either. So I wound up going back to a shorter wig before I went to this. So in between that wig and this hair, I had a shorter wig, which I honestly didn't really love at all. But yeah, because I wanted to be blonde. I wanted to see what it looked like to be blonde. So I went with a blonde wig in the middle.
It is working in your favor, but our two guests are here and I want to bring them up. I see Syreeta got up out of her seat. I'm going to give her a second to get back, but we'll bring up our other guest. Let me introduce them both. Because we got not one, but two special guests, Syreeta Scott. I talked about her earlier, gave me the big chop. And Latoya Booth. Syreeta is the owner of Duafe Holistic Hair Care Salon. That's in Philly. That's where I went and got my big chop. And she is so great with hair care. I know personally. Latoya, I can't wait to hear more about her, who is also one of the experts and stars in the hair care business. She's the owner of Honey Salon. They're both hairstylists and owners of their salons that are sought after destinations by Black women with natural hair. So
I've been to Honey. Oh, I loved Honey. Honey is great. Great salon.
So let's bring up Latoya. And when Syreeta hi, Latoya.
Hey. Hi. Long time.
Yes.
So wait, Joyanne was saying she's been there and I saw you nodding.
Yes, because the stylist Christy.
Yes.
Christy Bright used to do your hair.
That is correct. And that was before I moved out of New York. I wound up going to Honey Salon. So yes, I love that. It's a beautiful salon, by the way, y'all. It's a great experience. Harlem, baby, Harlem.
119th Street in St. Nicholas.
I love that. We'll start off talking about with you, Latoya. Do you mostly do natural hair at Honey, or do you do all hair?
We do all hair, but mostly it's natural clients that come into the salon. We do have relaxed clients. We have clients that just come in for shampoo go, just treatments for their hair. Some is silk press, like what I have a silk press in my hair now. So I don't have chemicals. I don't have a relaxer at all. So I haven't relaxed my hair in about 10 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, most of our clients are natural and they are looking to get away from certain things. But I mean, there are other alternatives or not doing something a lot, relaxing, because we've been taught to relax the hair like every 6 weeks. If your edges have new growth, relax it. And it's not about some people don't want to not relax their hair, but what do you do? Like there was a company, I started out Phyto Pacific. Was a phyto salon.
Yeah. And I used to go there.
I used to go there too.
Yes.
Phyto was one of the hair repair places. And by the way, I have to say, Christy and Honey is the first person who introduced me to the term creamy crack. The first person who ever told me she said, girl, you have to get off the creamy crack.
I know. And I just want to introduce Syreeta. We've been talking about you, Syreeta, just to the conversation who we just popped in here. But go ahead, Latoya. You were saying, please continue.
So like this relaxer was based on like no lie, which can be a lie because, any product with any chemical, I mean, it has some form of lie. It's just lesser of the two evils. And so it was soy based with eggs. It was made up of better ingredients, so that was like the big thing. And then I used to use other relaxers, and when I started using this relaxer, I wasn't burning a lot. I was one that had sensitive scalp, and you used to get these relaxers and sit there with the burn like, oh, gotta do it. I gotta do it. I need my hair straight. I gotta get it done. And then
I'm a strong Black woman. I can go through this burn. I can live with
Girl,
this burn.
how many times have we
wrong.
sat there with it burning and just a little while longer?
Just a little longer.
And then you're running to the shampoo bowl. Running.
No, really. Like, no, just I can take a few more minutes while my soul was on fire. Okay.
So, Syreeta, did you tell us about Duafe, which I've been to and I love so much? You do, I can't remember, because I remember it being all natural hair, right?
All natural. The only chemical that we have in the salon is color. And I'm extremely intentional about making sure that I'm teaching women how to, I don't want to say how to love on their natural selves.
Yeah.
Right. So by the time they get to me, they've already been to a bunch of hairstylists that created every trend. They have lived in every braid style. Usually I'm like that resort where they're like, help.
Yeah.
So
that would be
right. And so my approach to natural hair care is so organic that it may turn off the average stylist. But, I don't think that we realize or comprehend or paid attention, slow down to see how our mothers aged, how our aunts aged, and then associated ourselves to what their story is. Because if we did, we will make better, healthier decisions. We're so tied into Eurocentric belief in, if it's straight is right, if it's light is right, texturism, colorism, that I really want when people land at Duafe Hair Salon, that they understand that it's a level of integrity. It's a form of activism walking through our doors.
It is. I remember going to Duafe one time, and it was a couple of years after the big chop, and I came there and there was a lot going on with me personally. And before Syreeta did my hair, you did something. I can't remember what it was called, but you did something for me to help calm me down and just soothe my energy. Was it
Reiki master?
That's what it was. It was Reiki. And I was just like, it's just, when I say full service and holistic, it's a holistic experience.
Okay, where is this salon? I feel like I need to send my daughter there because she's trying to figure out her next hair journey. Where is your salon located?
My salon is located at 3129 North 22nd Street in Philadelphia. That's North Philadelphia.
So we have two choices. We have Harlem. We can send the baby to Harlem because we're going to send her to Honey, or we can send her to Philly. So either way, we got a place for her to go. I love that.
Well, we want to talk about what's going on in with Black women in hair. And where I want to start is with these reports coming out about synthetic hair, because even those of us who have natural hair will add some hair, these protective styles, these styles to let our hair grow. Were you both surprised when these reports came out indicating that these synthetic hair were so toxic?
I was a little surprised about the synthetic hair, but I do understand, like, a few years ago, I have this hair company that I found, Slay Hair, who has synthetic hair, but they take out all of the mess that's in there. They strip the hair so you're not itching and you're not going, because, a lot of synthetic hair was causing sometimes scabbing in your scalp. Like, you would find, you're like, why am my scalp scabbing? It's dry, it's drying to the hair. So this hair company I've been using to braid my hair. So I felt that was an alternative for getting another brand and synthetic hair to braid your hair. But I also don't leave my hair braided long either. Like, I do it for maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time. I take it out, because now your scalp is not getting, are you shampooing your hair? Are you, what are you doing to your scalp in the meantime? Some people do nothing because they have braids. So they think that, okay, I'm good. I could just get up and go.
Well, can I ask you guys this question on that same point? Is it true? Because now I think it's ingrained in my mind that relaxers are carcinogens. Like, do relaxers actually make you more likely? Syreeta saying yes, they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I've known for what I would say my whole career. I've been doing natural
Mhm.
hair for 30 years, that the chemicals were in the braiding hair and also in a lot of the perms. And yes, it's a slow death.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
and it's a slow death. It is. When anything goes to a factory and they care about allocating a price to it, it's really about profit. It's not about care. So the
Mhm.
same mindset that we use for the pharmaceutical world, the same, we can just keep going through industries. It's the same thing for us, and really worse, because they don't care about they don't care about our care.
Mm. That's
They're
scary.
Yeah.
in the business of
Mhm.
money.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Yeah. So now they have these all natural synthetic hair, that not it's not toxic. They have these new brands out. I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to, call anybody out. But now, given these reports, there are people who say, well, I've been doing non-toxic, add-ins for a long time, non-toxic braiding hair. Are those safe? Have you all heard of any of those products? And what are your thoughts on those products?
Well, there is no non-toxic product. You'll be surprised
Right.
what we're living in, the level of toxicity we're living in with just our normal daily products. It is something just for you to lean into, to invest. I will tell you, there are healthier options. There's
Options.
a braiding fiber that they
Mhm.
use for braids. There's yarn, which is
I've
still
Yes.
heard
acrylic,
about
but it's
yarn.
Yes.
Yeah.
beautiful braids. It will give you a
Yeah.
beautiful
My daughter
insight.
had yarn in her hair for a while that was fabulous. It's so pretty. You can do all kinds of colors and it's really pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's Lin, which is an African fiber that they use in Africa. We haven't really brought it here. We don't use it as much, but that is the three options that is the most healthiest.
Mm.
But as it relates to any hair on the weft,
Yeah.
my suggestion is always to shampoo
Yes.
anything that you use, because you don't know what they're using to keep it dry, to keep it safe. It's
Mhm.
always some type of chemical on anything that you buy in any store. So sorry to
Yeah.
That's
share.
true.
Good to know.
No, that's
It's
true.
so true. It's so true.
And what do you
You
all think of
oh, go
this?
ahead.
Because there's a lot of people I know, more people than I've ever known, dealing with alopecia. And we know that like sometimes you could just make the alopecia work for you, like the gorgeous Ayanna Presley has. She looks beautiful. She had a lot of trauma around losing her hair, and so she wound up, completely bald and beautiful. But there are people that I know that have like traction alopecia and
Mhm.
little piece of alopecia from having worn weaves, especially people who wear what's the kind of weave that everybody wears with the little
Lace.
weft in the
So,
front?
so
Lace
oh,
fronts.
lace fronts.
Yes. So
Yes.
what
So
do women do if they're starting to experience that, Latoya?
well, I think that you should not have someone who is handling your hair like in a certain way where they're pulling your edges, braiding too tight. Even when I get my hair braided, if I go to a braid shop, I'm just like, okay, ease up off the braid. You don't have to go too tight, because they think that they're making it so neat. And it's not. For me, you can braid my hair and I don't need it for it to be pulled back. A lot of ponytail styles that do that. And so often you have to change up on your method of hairdos. You can't just continuously wear. Some people like a ponytail, I understand that. Even myself, I use a part all the time. Sometimes your hair right here becomes like less because you part it that way, or you're doing something that, if I have extensions in, then it's right here. So you
Right.
have to sometimes switch it up to take care of those avenues. So you're not losing hair here or losing
Right.
hair here,
Okay.
so mhm.
We need to have the edges conversation because first of all, I'm on the
Mhm.
waiting list for Sacred and I'm very upset that you cannot buy this product anywhere because it is not available. But a lot of people are trying to buy this new Sacred product. This is Beyonce's new company because everyone is obsessed with our edges. And, especially with my hair very, very short, it really does highlight whether your edges are hitting or not. What do we
Mhm.
do and women do? Because this is especially people, Latoya, who pull their hair back in these severe styles. And I used to do that back when I would wear my hair in a ponytail, you just pull it back. And it does mess with your edges, all the brushing and all the tension, and also doing weaves, which is one of the reasons I stopped doing weaves. What do we do to make our edges as healthy as possible?
Who would you
Each
like to answer?
Syreeta,
Okay,
you
so
can
let me
start.
tell you what I know for sure. We need to learn how to advocate for ourselves. As Black
Mhm.
women, we need to slow down and pay attention to ourselves. I feel like we're inundated with so many things, life, you keep on naming it, that we allow for things to happen without our knowledge until it's a problem. Right. So when we talk about edges, I was so excited when they started doing braids that you add less extension hair to it, and I was excited that they were using the first couple stitches of the client's hair and then adding
Yes.
slowly, because what I know is the tension of this the synthetic hair up at the at the scalp causes that tension, and we're not telling the braider, hey, that hurts.
Yeah.
So the braider, it's a lack of communication from the tech and the client. So when we talk about edges, it's even deeper than that, because I think we're always thinking about topical products, as you mentioned with Sacred. It has nothing to do with anything topical. And I'm so sorry. And I have my own my own brand. We make all the products in our salon. Everybody wants to go to topical. What's happening is we're eating foods that it's inflaming our body. So we need to start eating more anti-inflammatory.
Yep.
You don't set off, Syreeta. See now, sir, I think you're a ringer. I feel
Your
like
diet.
I've been bamboozled. Jackie
Yes.
put you in here so that she could start
Let me
believing
get my
about
green.
my
Let me get
diet.
my green juice. Let me get my
No.
green juice.
I
Right?
quit.
It's not
Go
about
on,
being
Syreeta.
likable. It's really about being honest. So
Yeah.
as we begin to move forward in our aging, because I'm 50 now and I feel what 50 feels like, and it's because I didn't slow down. You need to make sure that you are honoring yourself and saying, hey, that hurts. You need to make sure that you're not leaning on every trend. Every trend does not belong to you. Sleep is essential, right? So it's not the eating, it's not the eliminating, because you'll be surprised by how many women do not eliminate every day. It's drinking water. It's so many different things. So when we talk about self-care, I think we're too we're in vanity. We're not thinking about how to make sure that I'm living through my long life, God will, and taking care of myself. The tight braids, the weaves, the lace fronts, even some of the press and curling, and let's be clear, even some of the lock styles, we need to be more honest about our pain.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, before I got braids for the first time, I sought out someone who would do braids that did not hurt, because it was just the norm. I can't tell you how many people were like, listen, you gotta, if you want to have the beauty, you gotta have the pain. And I found this woman in New York that did these knotless braids, and it was the style you were talking about, Syreeta, where she would braid my hair and then start adding in the hair so that the braid didn't start right on my scalp.
Right at the end.
I've never had pain, but I would see people and they were like, did it hurt? Does your hair hurt? And I'm like, no, I don't have any pain.
But Jackie,
are you sure?
Seriously, I'm one of those people who used to get my hair braided, and I will never forget. I
I
call
know
this sister out, but I don't ever told y'all about the lady. Her name was Bruce. Bruce pulled the hell out of my hair, African sister. And look, I am an African too, so I can talk about her. And she pulled my hair to the nth degree. I thought my eyebrows were going to be up here by the time she was done. And that was one of many times that I got my hair braided and had a migraine headache. I couldn't sleep on my head. I had to sleep sitting up. I was in so much pain. The braids were beautiful. They looked amazing, but they were so painful. And they were painful for not just one day, but like 2 days of headaches, like pain, and I didn't stop her. Not even just out of not being a self-advocate, because, my people pleaser in me is like, they're a professional, they must know. But it's not just that.
She took a selfie with you after, right?
Not everybody's a professional.
Not everybody's a professional, and this is true. They had a whole shot. But it was also because I was one of those Black women who was trained to believe that pulling your hair tight and braiding your hair tight grows your hair. And so even when I was a kid, when I used to do try to cornrow my hair and stuff, it is this belief that is very common among Black women that braids grow your hair, and they'll grow your hair faster. And the tighter they are, the more they will grow your hair. And I think a lot of Black women do believe that.
I never heard that it had to be tight for it to grow. I heard that braids will grow your hair because you're just not messing with it.
You're just not messing with it, right?
I never heard about that. I mean, you know me, girl. I was just like, I can't, don't. I would tell anybody doing my hair, that's too tight, that hurts.
Yeah.
Well, what is that, ladies? What is it about this lack of a bedside manner? Like, I've been places before I went natural where my hair was being shampooed to death,
like
or
hard.
the blow dry. You know, they like yanking your head back to like, what is that? Like snatching? What cosmetology school is that from? What
It's
is
not
with this
WWE.
hatred. It's not. And so that's then you said it earlier. You know, people go to cosmetology school and they learn how to do white hair. And so that's the reason why Duafe is like an institution, because we teach profusely. So I'm hiring people that's straight out of school who they could have 10 years and not know a thing about how to comb their own natural hair. That is a form of self-hatred to us. It's that mom that sits that child in between their legs and they're inconvenienced by doing their own child's hair, and they're saying derogatory things. It is constantly, it's fed to us as a young child.
So you're just told that it's a tender-headed thing, right? And I want to let you in here, Latoya, too, because we have this concept that if you're saying your hair, it hurts when someone's pulling your hair, it's because you're tender-headed. So it's something about you, not something about the person doing your hair.
And so you should sit there and go through it and just deal. And so that was to my point that for a long time, when someone would braid my hair, I'm like, no, don't do that. It hurts. Or like ease up off the braid, let loose. Even getting my hair silk pressed today, the stylist was like, in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, don't silk press your hair, do some Bantu knots. You know, you have to learn how to transition and do other things for the health of your hair, not just the look, you know, scalp related, doing things to cleanse your scalp, you know, taking time. Like I tell people, clients say, what do I do when I go to the gym and my hair sweats?
Yes, what do we do when we go to the gym?
Sweat,
please tell us.
Let it sweat. Let it sweat. Let your hair be. Stop thinking about what you're going to look like, because you're beautiful anyway. You know, this here, the fuzz around the edges, I never care. Do your gym. Work on what you need to work on. Don't worry.
You see, I got my fuzz. I don't do gel unless I'm going on TV. I'm not doing that every day. It is what it is.
We do a rapid. Let's do around
me the whole baby hair phenomenon that's going on.
Yes,
these draperies going down, and what is happening?
What is happening?
What is that?
I think we've lost ourselves in a major way. And you were saying earlier, even with the braids, when people get braids or extensions, they can still shampoo their hair. I mean, I sell a product that's a dry wash solution. There is so much we need to do. We're leaning into hairstyles that is going to eventually bald people, their edges, their alopecia. I've seen so much psoriasis in the last 5 years. And it has everything to do with what we're eating. I mean, we really want to talk about, it is important that we are learning how to take care of ourselves, how we need to eat, how much water we need to drink. You divide your body weight in half, and that's how many ounces you're supposed to drink in a day. You know,
but what about this? Because part of taking care of ourselves is exercise. And Jazz, both of us who's trained both me and Jackie back in the past. I need to go back to you, Jazz. I know I do, because I need to get myself together. But I would always say to her, you know, I don't know how much I want to sweat out my hair. Can you all both weigh in on, if you're trying to exercise, is there a special way that you should care for your hair so that sweating out your hair does not ruin your hair? I
mean, I'm gonna start on that one. I think you have to get used to, not that I'm an expert, I let them weigh in, but I think it's to what both of these ladies are saying. You have to put your health first. It can't be hair. It can't be looks first. It can't be aesthetic first. It can't be, I don't want to sweat out my flat, perfect my edges, and so I'm not gonna work out. You have to just I don't mind having like my little, hair here. I'm not gonna put gel on my hair.
But we also,
every day. We have to adjust what we think. We have to adjust what beauty is for us. I'm still beautiful, but that's the adjustment that needs to happen. We don't need to skip the workout.
And we need to do that for other people, because we've talked on this show a lot about Black women attacking Blue Ivy for her hair when she was a little girl, attacking Black gymnasts and saying, why isn't their hair laid? She's literally doing 8 flips. You want this girl to do 8 flips and have a laid hair? That's just not possible. So we have to also talk about the judgment that Black women, we issue against each other if your edges are not perfect. The reason that everyone's in line for sacred and I'm in line for is that people are obsessed with perfect edges, and you will be judged. Let's just be clear, by other Black women if your edges are not laid. That's just real.
I don't know if I live in that world anymore, but I know that I experienced it in owning a hair salon. So let's talk about the history of it. 400 years without a comb, right? We came here, even when we were in Africa, as you know, I bet Joy, you knew who that person was simply by their hairstyle and the clothes, the patterns that they had on their hair. So before they even opened up their mouth, you knew if they were married, you knew if they were on a men's seat, you knew these things. And then sadly, when we came here, a lot of things was stripped away from us. A part of what was stripped away from us was our hairstyles. The first thing they did was they chopped our hair off. So it was against the law in the early 1900s for a Black woman to show her natural hair. So that's the reason why you saw the Aunt Your Mama scarf all the time. So what do you think that will do? Let's fast forward. What do you think that will do to a woman in their perception of beauty? Men don't like lace fronts. I hear them. They're loud about it. But we walk into places and spaces and really trying to get the nod from other women in other spaces in society. Literally, we think that how our hairstyle looks will either put a cap on our professions. I mean, I hear it all the time, but we serve as lawyers, doctors, celebrities, bus workers. It's about how you walk in and who you want to be. You can show up for who you are. But you got to make that choice.
Yeah.
Very true. It's a sermon. It's a sermon. And I think it is about, and it's right, it's about us not seeking the approval of the white gaze and not trying to remake ourselves. I don't know about you, when we were kids, the epitome of supposed to be beauty was Charlie's Angels, and there was nobody Black in that show. So we were all trying to look like them. And I think we do have an aesthetic in the Black community that is a white aesthetic. It just actually is. Even when I went blonde, I had white people screaming at me being like, you can't have blonde hair. Why? I thought you hated white people. And I'm like, first of all, I don't hate white people. That's stupid. And second of all, I can have any color hair I want. If I want to be blonde, I'm going to be blonde. If I want to be bald-headed, I'm going to be bald-headed. If I want long, beautiful locks and I'll pop back on my fabulous long hair wig, I'm going to do that too. Do what I want. And we have to, I think, have the attitude that we're going to look how we want, when we want, where we want, and we don't care what anybody else thinks, including internally in our community.
Well, internally in our minds. Let's talk about it. Because as a child, I know I heard every Black derogatory statement. Oh, you pretty dark skin, all these things, right? And so then when I went off to Hampton, I thought it was going to be this beautiful experience of acceptance. And that's not what it was. It was about legacy and how light you were. If you were lighter than a brown paper bag. I pray it's not that situation now, but that was my experience then. So all the spaces I went in corporate America, I went to my manager and I said, hey, can I start my locks? Had this long afro, the only person in that, I'm not going to say where I worked. I was the only person with natural hair. And with that upper management sister, because she was a sister, said to me that if you decide to lock, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to climb any ladder. And she said that to me. But thank God she did, because that's what made me start Duafe.
Wow. Well, I remember, I can tell you that we did this story at the Griot. I mean, before the Crown Act, you could be fired for locking your hair at work. Black women were not permitted to braid their hair in the United States military. That produced a lawsuit. There were lawsuits against airlines that did not allow locked hair or braided hair or beards among men. Black men were being penalized in jobs for having cornrows. My husband, used to have long dreads, and it definitely impacted his career because, him as if, he was somehow thuggish because he had long dreads. And then they would work with him and see how lovely and polite and wonderful he is to work with. They'd be like, oh, surprise. It's like, why are you surprised? Because of my hair. And so our Black hair has been political ever, always. And it is because of Black people suing and also creating the crown act that we can even wear our hair all the ways that we are on this screen right now. We can look all of the ways we look right now because of the crown act. Before that, there was a actual ability of businesses and institutions to fire us because of our hair, and especially natural hair. It's crazy to think that that happened in the 2000s, not the 1900s or 19, you know what I mean? This happened in the mid 2000s, late 2000s.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's activism for me.
Yes,
It's
it is.
It's to teach women, Black women, because we service everybody. It's like a good 650 to 900 people in a month that come into our salon. So we see all ages. We've been through all the generations being open as long as we have. And there's still a thing, it's still a thing where we have to, I've wiped off so many tears at this point because they still hear the voices. It's okay, I get them too. They still hear the voices in their mind that they're not good enough, that they're not pretty enough, that they don't fit. And so that's why I say, you gotta love that little girl. You gotta change that story. My daughter has never worn her hair straight or she's only had natural hair and locks, and just to see her confidence, how she exudes it in a way that I never could at her age. But things are supposed to improve, things are supposed to change. And I think we're living in that stage where we can find the history, we know our stories, and we need to make sure that we keep giving it back to the next generation so they understand firmly how beautiful they are and they made in God's image.
Amen. Well, I want to end, we want to wrap, because we could talk to you both forever, but I want to wrap it up by you both talking about, because I know you both have your own products, but what should we be using in our hair? What are some of your favorite things aside from what we're eating, right? Because I think that's an important part of it. You hear about coconut oil. What are some ingredients? What are some things out there that work? You know what I mean? That's good for moisturizing your hair. A lot of people want to grow their hair. A lot of people want to grow their edges back. They want to bring their hair back. What are some practices, things out there that you all like, whether it be something that's herbal, whether it's your product or something that's on the market that you're loving and would recommend to someone who has damaged hair, wants to grow their hair, wants to repair edges, that kind of stuff?
Well, I do say that when you're with a shampoo, I think that everyone should get scalp massages for circulation. People don't understand how important the health of your scalp before anything else. I mean, that goes along with your diet, what you're eating, but your scalp is the first thing that should be cleansed, that should be nourished, that should be taken care of. And those little massage, just a massage and having a great person to give you that massage for blood circulation helps. I mean, we take things like this for granted, your scalp, but even sunscreen on your scalp. People don't realize that, because your scalp is your skin. Like, they don't realize how much, just like you lotion your skin, you do certain things, you should be doing that to your scalp, making sure it's moisturized. Whatever you're putting in has good stuff, not taking it all out, but cleansing it and putting back in. I love, there was a product, Jane Carter, and they had a Nourish and Shine, which he has now, like the original all natural Nourish and Shine, which I use. And I use that on my scalp. Clients buy it a lot, but I think it's a great thing. It's not oily. It's not too greasy. It's just right. And a little goes a long way. You don't always have to oversaturate everything.
Love that.
Yeah. What about you, Syreeta?
So for me, I'm really taking a holistic approach to walk into taking care of people's hair. We're making anywhere from like 30 gallons a week just for the salon. We'll be selling it online next week. So I'm grateful. So what we have is the dry washes to help you with in between shampoos. We have the scalp tea, which is very important. You need to make sure that certain things just lay on your scalp, the rosemary, the eucalyptus, the chamomile, the lavender, all the things, and so we also have a hair and body oil, which you can put all over. And I can keep on telling all the things that we offer. You will see it online. It's so grateful I'm so grateful you allow for me to say it. But let me tell you, as you begin to purchase products, we have this little thing called smartphone, right? And I want to challenge our sisters, brothers, and anybody else that got a different kind of mother, that when you purchase things, even when you go through your cabinets, I want you to look and see what you're eating and what you're putting on your scalp, what you're putting on your hair. I think the best information that I can give is that how knowledgeable we all are, because information is such a source of it.
Yes.
So yes, I want to make sure aloe is amazing. It helps your hair grow. You can do flaxseed oil. You can definitely do rice water. I love rice water for Black women. Okay, it strengthens your hair. I can go on and on about the product, but the reason why I always talk about the health piece is that is really the issue. When you talk about hair loss, it really has everything to do with the cortisol levels and what we're eating and the processed foods. I just want us to be healthier people.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Amen.
ladies.
Well,
This has been
ladies,
so
Syreeta
helpful.
Scott of Duafe Hair Salon, Latoya Booth of Honey Salon. Can you guys give us we'll put it in our notes, but you want to shout out your website so we can follow you? Syreeta, we'll start with you. What's the website?
It's Duafe Hair Salon. I kept it easy. It's Duafe Hair Salon. If you look up Syreeta Scott, you would just see all the things that I've been able to do and what we've been able to do. So I look forward to meeting all of you. And we give free consults. So come through. I would love
Girl,
to.
I had one.
Come
I got
on,
that
Philly.
free consult. That is very true. She does do
Yes,
that.
make a plan. We want to get you where you need to be.
Love it.
Latoya,
we're Honey Salon NYC. And we're on the corner of 119th Street in St. Nicholas in Harlem.
All right,
well,
ladies.
Listen, when I'm in New York, you know, I got a little spot in Harlem. So I remember calling through back in. I've been there before. I'm gonna come back, and I'm definitely gonna come and see Duafe. And you know, I might be a plus one because you know I got a daughter. So I'm gonna try to make sure to visit both of your fabulous salons. Thank you so much.
Thank you both. Really.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Joy.
All right, everybody. Well, that is another one of our amazing episodes that we just wanted to just revisit with you. Hopefully you enjoy that. Be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share so we can continue to grow here at the Cousin Nation. And we're so glad that you are here and along for this ride with us.
Absolutely. And don't forget to subscribe to all things Jackie Reed, starting with vegansexycool.com. So you can be not just vegan, not just sexy, but also cool. Wouldn't you love that? And you can find all the great recipes, ideas. You know, if you want to go vegan or you just want to go healthy, you just want to eat better and live longer, because don't you want to be around when Donald Trump finally meets his maker? And also you can follow, because it's going to be a long time. He going to live a long time. You can also follow Jackie, the Jackie Reed Experience, because you get all the great things about Jackie Reed. You're going to get her stories, her ideas, her tips. You just got all the great Jackie Reed things. And follow Jackie Reed there and also on all of her social media.
Yes, all about my kittens and all the animals.
All 18 of them.
And be sure to follow this one. She keeps it easy. I love her for this. She's so brilliant. Go to joyannereed.com, and from there you will be able to connect her with her on YouTube, Substack, all social media, and you need to go to those places, each place, and subscribe, follow, like, comment, do all the things so that her numbers can be through the roof, right? Because we got to support independent media. Yes. We have to do that. And when we have truth tellers like Joyanne Reed that are out here doing the work and telling us what we need to know about what's going on in this crazy world right now, then we need to support that wholeheartedly. So definitely do that. So go to joyannereed.com and subscribe and support all the things that Joyanne Reed is doing.
Thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And thank you for joining us. And goodbye.